You know, there's going to be too many things that can shut it down.
There's some
Less
heroes we've
people.
seen do like okay, like we saw Dragon Knight kind of beat an Ember mid, but I think that
Oh,
one
yeah,
went
that was
more one-sided than
phenomenal.
perhaps should.
Okay.
Other than that, I think like the other hard counter mid is like we've seen Necrophos in the past tournament, but you don't want to first phase Necrophos or things get pretty ugly for your Necro. SMG are gonna ban it as well, so they don't want it.
Ember's also Lucius like most played here, competitively. He's
By a long shot?
yeah, by like 30 games.
Okay, yeah, that's a decent amount.
Yeah, he's really good at it. I've been hyping up his other heroes, like I think his Pango Void are really good, but yeah, I mean he's great Ember too. It's honestly it's kind of funny that he's going for it over like waiting for later. I really liked what you suggested about taking the off lane, but maybe they just want to make sure they're shutting mid one down. Maybe if like that's their focus, they want to just make sure they get the best matchup.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they go with the monkey, because you see the monkey for like it feels really good like in the mid game with the vision it gives in the setup, but the lane itself can be a bit of a weak point. You know, when your opponent's like, okay, they have Monkey King, we're gonna now pick heroes that, you know, less. I mean, Tiny at least I think does okay against the monkey in lane. Typically, you want to have like that range core to kind of sit behind the monkey, like the Death Prophet, which is gonna be banned. Necrophos another one, so I feel like you're kind of maybe a little bit more limited with what you can do as far as your off lane goes now.
Tiny and Bane is a really strong lane too. Like not only is Bane really great support, but, and just like strong at trading and so on. So like Tiny, I feel like farms against everything.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of this hero. He makes me so upset. I'm actually so done. Like Primal Beast is the most played hero in high MMR pubs, but after that is Tiny, and he's everywhere, and he's so broken, and I hate him so much. And yeah, so I don't know if there's something you can pick. I think we've seen
10
like
seconds remaining.
everyone try anything, and it just isn't really gonna get him
5
out the lane.
seconds
He will
remaining.
farm basically. So yeah, holding your offlane pick, I don't know how I feel about that. I guess try and give it the best game. They even say like we're just gonna pick our snap support here and like hold still for even better matchup, which is fair. You already have your mid, so now you can just save your last 2 picks for your like other 2 cores.
10 seconds remaining.
Snap's like a really nice strong laner for 4 if they want to put her there. If the like monkey was gonna go
5
carry,
seconds
but
remaining.
Snap can be flexed to 5 easily, and monkey can be that 4.
Dire team pick.
What's a good pairing that you'd like to see if Snap does go to 5?
Kind of do anything. I mean, you can even put the Ember in carry. I mean, I think Lelouch probably is the one playing it. How did Medusa get here?
Let's go.
Wait, hold on a second. You're telling me
Medusa?
Medusa just got to this stage of the game?
This has happened before.
But it's like, we'll
Medusa
take
getting
it.
through, and Ember as well. It didn't at one point Ember got to like the last phase, and everyone was like, "Wait, what? How?"
Yeah, Yopar's like 24 picked Ember
Yeah.
still. Like, there just comes a point where you expect that the teams have banned it because it's like
5
their
seconds
best hero
Uh-huh.
or the hero they've played so much and they're so good at. You're like, oh yeah, just give them like a really good game.
It's almost like they kind of trick them a bit, because none of their previous pick kind of suggests the 4 Protect 1 Medusa draft is coming. Usually they're picking Medusa with these 4 positions that are like the stacking experts, like they'll have their lane secure. So, you know, they didn't really tip their hand that they were going to be going into Medusa, but once they saw enough of SMG's heroes, they're like, yeah, Medusa looks fine. They're, you know, they're doing SMG things. Like, we need a carry. What's left? Oh, Medusa, sure.
Oh yeah, I love that one. Yeah, God, they had all their choices actually. Terrorblade wasn't banned either.
Team pick.
Christ. Okay, well, this is a little awkward. I think Tiny loves to burst heroes, and Medusa is not a burstable hero. What the hell? Night Stalker is definitely not the hero I was thinking either. It looks like they're gonna try and run them over a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have
In
like
classic SMG fashion.
yeah, they're gonna just play with like Night Stalker ult giving vision, and then that allows Storm to see like any target he wants. You ink swell him, and he just goes in and like
10
yeah, your
seconds
Tiny's
remaining.
gonna go Echo Saber, Shadow Blade, and then just start getting
5
involved.
seconds remaining.
I think it's kind of difficult for Polaris to fight into that right now. I don't see any like easy way of skirmishing. When you have a Medusa, you have Ember, and no like your Snap can fight with him, but Monkey is kind of like vision giver plus stun, but outside of that he's not really any damage until he gets at least a Fusel Blade, and even then it's a bit sussy.
Is there a last pick for you on the side of Polaris that can potentially help with that?
Good luck, Viper, yeah.
Yeah, it was
Select your
That-
heroes.
Okay, that's actually the hero I didn't want to see. I'll be real with you. I was thinking about it.
I had the same thing. I was thinking about it. I was like, no, it looks bad. I literally was like, this does not look like a good Viper game.
You guys might not like Viper, but our casters, Ares and Danog, just might. And I want to ask them. Danog's on his way to see us. Look at him. He's casting from the plane. What a legend.
We got a game? We got a game. We're live. All right, let's go.
Crawl out of bed. Pull yourself out, Danog. And I want to ask you both, which team tempo do you like more?
I like this Night Stalker, right? Because it's going to provide vision, like Shipper was saying, with the Storm Spirit to be able to just Inkswell go on in. What I really want to see is Xavier's playing around the Medusa whenever the Night Stalker's missing off the map, just to reduce that smoke gang potential, so that you always have just that extra couple of seconds of warning to be able to get out of dodge when you're looking to be greedy and take a lot of that farm.
Yeah, I think for SMG, the tempo is going to be difficult. I think for Polaris to deal with, Viper needs to have a really good lane. If he doesn't, then it's all on Ember to make plays.
Now that we do finally have game 1 underway, predictions.
These non-believers, it's Polaris playing Medusa. This is their bread and butter. Do
they have a stacking support for him though? Do they have anything to help Medusa take the stacks?
Well, I guess
they'll find a way.
Quickly, team.
I like SMGs more. I just like, we've seen Vipers.
Quickly.
No, I want to give you my opinion. We've seen Vipers against Medusas and it doesn't shut it down. How are you going to shut down a Tiny? It's the same problem.
How are you, Sheep? There's only one way to know, and that's to get in this game. So please, Ares and Danog, take it away.
Thank you very much, Nat. Yeah, that's the ultimate question, Danog. Do they have the answers to shut down the Medusa, and do Polaris have the answers to shut down the Tiny?
Never know. I mean, I'm on board Tiny Airlines right now, so we'll see if they're able to get it on board with SMG. I don't know. I've got faith in them. They play this a really aggressive style back in Season 1 of the DPC. We had a lot of times where SMG, they were going all in, all just fast. They were by far the quickest team for both their wins and losses, and it really feels like they're just trying to out-tempo a lot of these other teams. Because honestly, when it does get to the international level, that can be a bit of a test, right?
Like, Ninja Boogie, don't do it. Don't run down the stairs. Oh no, it might just be our first blood as Ninja Boogie enters into a jungle, and all of a sudden Polaris have 5 heroes knocking by the outposts. There we go. First blood of our game 1 going the way of Evolution. Then I gotta tell you what, you don't want to give it over to the position 2.
You don't want to give it over to Lelouch. I mean, it's a newish name that he's going by now, but back when he was known by Mac, back in years gone by, like, Mac Ember Spirit was something that essentially, like, people wanted to pick him up. And I'm talking, like, tier 1 teams, like, at the very pinnacle, ones that were regularly going to TI, just because of how good this man plays on his Ember Spirit.
Yeah, exactly like you said. Just go back to the days when he was named Mac. That was a fear that everyone had. His Ember Spirit. It's wow. I mean, a lot of people have been putting emphasis on his Pango performances so far through the season, but we get a prime opportunity to watch Lelouch pop off potentially on the Ember. But do you feel like he is enabled this game? Is it a free Ember game, or is there a little bit of vulnerability here?
It's not a free Ember game by any stretch of the imagination. I would say Storm, he would much prefer to be playing something like the Storm with the supporting cast that he's got alongside him, both for the vision for the Night Stalker plus the Grimstroke to enable you to have that additional stun when you go for those super deep dives. So it's honestly not looking too bad for SMG to start off. And even if he is able to get in onto the backlines like the Grimstroke, for example, the Searing Chains is good, but you can still like Nightmare yourself or Nightmare the Ember Spirit and reduce a lot of the damage that you are taking.
So I know we've already had our first blood picked up for Polaris, and we haven't done our predictions just yet. We do probably need to get them out of the way pretty fast before a second kill comes. That's where you enter the floor and say your prediction before me.
Yeah. I'm having a quick pick. I'll say SMG. I like SMG's draft.
Okay, straight to the point. I like it. Concerned if they can deal with the Deucer, but I don't know how the... I'm gonna go SMG as well. Screw it. I can't fall too far behind. I like Deucer a lot versus the Tiny, but I know this Viper pick. It's got me a bit concerned. I think the best thing at the moment is the fact that Force, well, maybe they could toss him under the tower, but a great use to be able to dodge the Nightmare. That's going to put Xavius in a compromised position, though. It was a lot of damage early on, and in fact, well, it's just plenty to get the kill. So mid one, along with Ninja Boogie, strike first in the bottom lane.
Very nice. And it's important that you get those kills before the Viper hits a lot of those odd levels, right? He's just hit the level 2, so now he's a little bit less vulnerable to being gone on himself. But level 3, those poison attacks just start to stack up so much quicker.
Yeah, that's really the concern with a Viper. We've seen many times level 1 and level 2, you are super weak and vulnerable in the lane. But once you get that extra point, and we're already seeing against the melee hero, mid one taking a beating. With all these stacks, very difficult for him to play as soon as Ninja Boogie leaves the lane.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And you got to make sure that you've got... You're never too far away, but you always honestly want to change the position of the lane as well, right? Like, you always want it to be relatively close to the tower, so you've got that safe haven. It's, I don't know, it's going to be a little bit rough for this Tiny. The thing I've been looking at recently, actually, is the top side, where somehow Afu's been able to get this hard camp pull off to the left-hand side to enable the Night Stalker to get a little bit more farm than perhaps he probably should, just with the lack of ability to push out the lane other than the Grimstroke Inkswell, which is only level 1 at this point.
So you, in the draft, you were a little bit concerned when you saw the Night Stalker get picked up. Would you want to elaborate a little bit on that? As bottom lane, we see Ninja Boogie go down.
Sorry, just to touch on the death, I think that's just one of the things that needs to happen whenever you're going up against something like a Viper or, you know, a Huskar in a laning stage. As a support, that's just a kill to make sure you're taking the brunt of the aggression and allowing your core to get even a couple of right clicks. So it's not a feed, it's just, it's tactical. That's the definition of tactical.
Is that what you say in your pubs when you feed as a position 5 in the lane and your carry screaming at you? Okay, yeah, sure. I'm just making sure that's what I should be doing every time I feed. Lads, it's tactical. Come on, don't worry. It's definitely worth it.
As long as you call it before it happens, then it's tactical, right?
Right, okay.
Oh, they're going to go on mid one here right now, though, because Bane just TP'd mid to go for a bottle refill. Nice toss, though, to be able to get a lot of that aggression away. Important that he gets that Orb of Venom off him, but he doesn't have any regen, so important for Ninja Boogie to come down to this bottom side. Actually, it looks like he might rotate back towards mid to continue to try and secure this.
Dude, mid one is getting beat down once again. Without Ninja Boogie bottom, he's gonna fall for his first time of the game, and they might honestly kill Ninja Boogie as well. They've got the level 3s between Xavius and Force, and they have the creep wave to tank the tower as well. The movement speed slow. Ninja Boogie just cannot escape away from the damage. An attempt to try and path through the tree line, but Xavier's providing the vision is a way to set up for their 4th kill of the game. And Polaris, a really good start to this bottom side of the map.
Yeah, it's all well and good to move the Bane towards the mid lane, of course, to give your Storm Spirit the best lane possible, but he ended up doing that. Mid one dies, it happens, but then he didn't even actually secure the water in on the bottom hand side, so Ember Spirit was able to claim that, plus get the kill on the Tiny, plus get the kill on the Bane afterwards, so it's just gone from bad to worse right now for SMG.
And meanwhile, the lane that we haven't had a lot of attention in top, it's farming between the two cores. Ragey Potato 20 and 2 compared to the 21 and 7. I think one thing though for Polaris is it's a different dynamic with their supports. They really been liking these high stacking heroes like the Coddle in the bottom lane actually. Viper should get bursted down. Actually, the combo's not enough from mid one and Ninja Boogie, but one more swipe of the tree. Able to cut away the life of Force, and now Xavier's trying to rectify the previous death, but he too will not be able to hit back, so they have the combos back up. Toss is available, Brain Sap, it's only level 1, but they're still going to try and stand their ground and see if they can bring down the full use of the control, making sure that Ninja Boogie can get those right clicks stacking up, and it's going to be SMG that find a couple of kills to help pick up the slower start they had.
That is one of the plus sides, I suppose, of feeding, is that you do come back to the lane on full health and mana, and you're able to make those aggressive plays like that. So for SMG to be able to come out on top, they need to make every single one of those a winner.
Lelouch, that's huge. We see it, this level, it's so important for the position 2s to be able to find these power runes, and Lelouch has a double damage rune now, so you instantly see the rest of Polaris and their supports trying to connect, because this could be a lot of damage onto the tower if they want to utilize the rune in that regards.
No points on the little shredder just yet, though, so it's going to be slightly slower, perhaps, as Afu tries to keep this lane pushed.
It is such a big fan. Polaris utilizing the rune to perfection as they bring down Afu. Raging Potato's going to look to TP over the silence. Not going to last a long enough duration as they still kill off the Storm Spirit. And Raging Potato, he's just got the damage to find the snap fight, but it doesn't matter. Dark Ascension pop, and he still dies while feeding over a triple kill to Lelouch.
I mean, that's just completely taken away a lot of your aggression. You would think that, you know, you died a few times, but the Storm Spirit, he's still level 7, right? So maybe you could look to go for an aggressive type of play with that nighttime, with that Dark Ascension, but now that window is completely shut.
It's not a good start. Bottom lane.
He still does, though.
The TP down. Force should be the sacrifices. There's nothing really Mavis can do. This is a bit of a stack for Moon to claim after if he wants it.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand doing this. Of course, you've got a Tiny, you've got a Storm Spirit, 2 heroes that are very capable of taking it, and you're a Viper, right? You're a lane dominator with this particular one, so you're not going for some pump build where Nether Toxin's used to take a lot of these stacks. You've got a Medusa for that. So there was no danger of Polaris ever looking to go and try and contest that. So smartly done by SMG, but still, I'm just a little bit worried for the next 2 or so minutes of what they're actually going to do on the map. It really does feel like an SMG draft of old, where everything is just all based around mid 1. If mid 1 doesn't have a game, it's over.
See what the contestation's going to be with the power runes. Lelouch gets the invis top, but down to the bottom side, Moon is a little bit hesitant of jumping Mavis, concerned about where the rest of Polaris are positioning, and Xavius can block off one of the avenues, and Lelouch, he'll block off the secondary stairs. So another kill. Oh, this Danog. Lelouch is 5-0. We've seen what he can do with the Ember.
Yeah, it's a dangerous prospect for sure, but I think it just comes down to a couple of our players coming through. You know, the one that I mentioned before with the rotate with Ninja Boogie to the mid lane that didn't get them anything, and yeah, that costly triple kill in the mid lane.
Okay, so it's been a very good start for Polaris with a 2,000 net worth lead, but what are we looking for to SMG to do in this early game to kind of offset the momentum that Polaris is starting to pick up?
I mean, you got to try and make an aggressive play, right? All while this is happening, zero attention is being given over to Natsumi. So he's a little bit behind the Ember Spirit, but I think you're fine with that. And he's just going to continuously farm up. You don't have any heroes, which was my concern for stacking the jungle, but with the amount of attention that's taken away from him, he's just been able to push out that top lane with the Mystic Snake and then just go back to the jungle and stack up for himself. So I think they do need to make a lot of they need to move a lot more attention onto Natsumi, I feel, because the vision, I guess it's kind of defensive actually. He's got a nice one to be able to protect his little farming triangle there, but still I feel like that's where it needs to happen, and I'm sure Polaris are going to have their minds on the timer when exactly that Dark Ascension was used, because that's going to indication of when they can look to go for this next gank. Potato is going to see this scouted out, but it's the Ward Scout's hit.
Let's see if
stops him from farming. But
drop a sentry.
Just body blow.
Yeah, he does. All right. That's the ward. Nice read. And you're also going to take away 2 of his camps, so now it's going to force Natsumi to kind of play towards mid in the triangle, which will now open up top for SMG.
Oh no, Medusa in the triangle, she hates that.
Disastrous. She's level 8. Dragonlance, she should be chilling. They, again, don't have... It's just a double stack, and we've seen prior, in all the games Polaris, there has been a ridiculous amount of emphasis on stacking up around the triangle, so... Nothing crazy at the moment, but I'm sure Natsumi's still happy with the really strong laning stage start that he has had.
They've also got a lot of heroes showing on the top side, so they feel very happy with going for this trade right now on Polaris. The top side isn't quite as important when you've got a Medusa, just because you are capable of farming those Ancients so early on and even just moving into the enemy side of the map. But now that it's daytime, you know that they can only be making plays around this Night Stalker. So that's essentially where a lot of the eyes are going to be on Polaris, particularly the supports, just saying, look, where is this Night Stalker? Is he going to be able to make plays right now? Can Medusa farm safely? So yeah. I feel like Natsumi, he's going to be looking to play around a lot of these objectives, so any kind of TP rotation is just really quick to be able to take them, because they don't have the farm right now. Night Stalker, he's just finished up an Ograx, but until he's got that Echo Saber, he doesn't really have any kill potential.
They're setting up on mid one top. Xavier's providing all the information they ever would desire to see that no one is standing behind mid one. So double TPs from Lelouch along with Force nets them 1 kill on the Rockman, and now the Bane will drop along with him.
That's not near a tower. You know, that's probably the last place that you want to be, especially when you don't have any of those escape mechanisms. We could see that mid one's going into that Shadow Blade. Looks like he's going to forego the Echo Saber, but I mean, this is the type of build that SMG go for, right? They're all out aggression. They want to make sure that they can get kills early on and then use those to snowball as opposed to snowballing off of creeps. As we see a triple smoke coming out here, they'll know that no one's showing on the map, so just have a look at Polaris's positioning all around their towers. Xavier's there in the trees to be able to catch out any kind of rotations before they happen. Although Natsumi
gonna look to enter the stairway. Moon and Afu ready in position, but a nice cookie is gonna help the Medusa back to safety, but they're still locking on top. A double fiend scoop out from the backline as Ninja Boogie gets perfect use out of the ultimate. Lelouch looking to try and step into the fight, but he's lacking the damage to rectify the team fight around the tier 1 tower as SMG strike back along with more than likely getting this objective to their name.
Yeah, they would love to be able to kill Lelouch as well, but he's just too damn tanky at this stage. 6 kills so far would be a big streak. Be a little bit cautious, but they should still be able to take this tower. That was a very minor misplay coming through, though. I feel like that's exactly what I was talking about at the end stage of the draft with Xavier's. If Night Stalker is not on the map, you need to be in a position where you scout out a lot of these rotations first. You know, we saw Natsumi walk up onto the high ground, and they just didn't have an understanding exactly of where SMG were at the time. They didn't even have that observer ward up on the high ground at the time, so they knew exactly where they could look to make the plays, and I feel like Monkey King needs to be the one throwing his body out first for any kind of potential smoke rotations that are still to come.
See what the runes can provide SMG, though. Let's hold that thought. Ragey Potato is getting stalked from Xavier's at the moment. Moon had an arcane rune for that fight, so that gave them a big advantage to be able to find multiple kills. And after the fight, he found a lucky old regen as well. So he's still out on the map, getting a ridiculous amount of farm. And now he's 3rd in net worth, even after the crazy start that the Embers had.
Yeah, but they would have seen him just TP towards this top side of the map, though. So I feel like Polaris really want to make a play right now.
And they do.
Yeah.
Just bring down Afu. Quick and easy kill. Now to the tier 1 tower they go.
I mean, that's just... You're essentially just giving up something when you make a move like that, right? Just saying, look, we want to farm even if it means losing a hero or losing an objective, just because how important it is for us to reach our next item. You can see Storm Spirit, again, going that aggressive build into the BKB. They still want to get active early on, but you know that when you don't have Dark Ascension available, when it's daytime, when Storm TPs to the other side of the map, mid tower completely open.
Who do you feel like is most happy with the status quo of the game that we have at the moment?
I mean, it has to be the Deucer, right? She hasn't been contested at all other than that one movement. But again, that wasn't really Natsumi's fault too much coming through here. So I feel like you're generally okay with the game, but
Nice scan.
now that they've got that Dark Ascension available, they see the scan and just look at the different positioning.
Chains holds back one. Ragey Potato still with the Dark Ascension, flying through the tree line. Trying to target down Mavis. He has made it a little bit further back, so SMG gonna think twice about this skirmish. It's a decent amount forced out, and still Lelouch has been able to catch out Ninja Boogie before he can enter the river. Gonna turn now to Ragey Potato, still with the Dark Ascension. Difficult to control. Got the vision on the hillside. Continue to hunt, but they will not run into him. So a 1-for-0 with a lot of abilities used.
That's just so much better by Polaris, though, right? Like, it wasn't the Monkey King like I was saying before, but Lelouch on his Ember Spirit does a very similar sort of role. Until Raging Potato has something like that Blink Dagger, where you can instantly get on top of the Ember Spirit and at the very minimum force out a BKB to dodge the Crippling Fear, you're always going to be able to catch out any smokes. Obviously, the scan helped with that, but also the high ground ward. So, very nice play by Polaris to dodge out a lot of that aggression coming through.
With the items that we're seeing picked up, though, from Dai, they're going double ATOS. One on Force, one on Xavier. So if they can find these ATOSes before Moon gets BKB, you know, just completed one component, that's at least one death will catch him off guard. And if they can kill him a second time, then maybe all of a sudden the Storm Spirit's game is, you know, not as snowball as what they might be requiring from Moon.
Yeah, it's great for the Storm Spirit. It's great for the Night Stalker as well, right? As long as you've got that vision available, just hold them away from your supports, allow them to do something in all of these engagements. This would be big.
Lelouch is caught out. He hasn't died just yet. A flawless game. No longer, as mid one finds a huge streak, 604 gold to his name.
That's what you need to do, right? You got the Shadow Blade, so... Well, are they? Are they?
No consolation, okay.
But yeah, like, you go this Shadow Blade build, you need to get kills. And so mid one, there's always a little bit of a worry that they've just got this area sentry, since that's where the game's been played for the past 3 or 4 minutes. But that time around, he was just able to punish the fact that there wasn't quite that vision to be able to catch out a lot of these Shadow Blade plays. What's he looking to go into next? Do you reckon he'll Echo Saber? Do you think it's a Blink? Do you think it's a BKB? He's finished up the Aghanim Shard, but beyond that, probably the Echo still, right? I feel like you really need that burst to be able to take out the Ember Spirit at the start of a lot of these engagements.
It's going Silver's Edge. I think while that was going on, we saw the Bane just enter the jungle, and he was brought down on a warding expedition. So easy kill and easy de-ward. It should be obvious, though, that Dire had vision on the high ground. So I imagine once Ninja Boogie respawns, he'll probably de-ward the ward that Polaris is still playing with there.
Yeah, just mentioning your thoughts on the Atos before as well. I mean, you've got heroes like the Monkey King. Yes, it's a support, but the Wukong still does a little bit of work. And the Medusa that kind of just want to stand there and fight in an enclosed area. And for right now, they don't really have any heroes once those BKBs are popped that are just able to keep you chained into one area. I always talk about area denial whenever you and I are cast, or area control. And I feel like those Atoses are going to provide that super early on, and perhaps punish the fact that you don't have a ton of BKBs picked up yet on SMG.
And Moon is so close to his, but they are smoking on Polaris. They're going to run past the Storm Spirit straight into the hands of Ragey Potato. Looks like it'll have to be the Grimstroke that falls first. And can they catch up to the Night Stalker? It looks like that's not the case. They've still got vision on Ninja Boogie. Wasn't successful at de-warding. Corey a little bit too late to provide him the high gun vision, so it's another pick off on the Bane. He's got 8 deaths? Well, I know you were saying about those tactical feeds earlier on, but I might not be saying it's tactical every time before he dies.
You gotta call it. You gotta call it. That's the big difference.
Yes. Oh, I think props do have to be given to mid one with the position is caught back up in the net worth. He was 2 grand behind the Medusa at some stage, but now he's sitting decently close. Of course, the Ag Shard is always going to help out. If ever into the Night Stalker, still pre-BKB on Ragey Potato. He's going to have to rely on his movement speed. But Lelouch, no, he's got a Remnant along with a haste, so he's flying across in the chase.
Yeah, that time around, not getting a little bit trigger happy. Didn't want to pop the Dark Ascension, realizing how important it is for SMG to keep the tempo up and go for those aggressive plays. And if you do that, then you just have that completely taken away. But Natsumi, look at him. He's got a decent amount of farm himself, sitting at the top of the net worth, Manta style, Dragon Lance. He's going to be able to, most importantly, get rid of that Enfeeble. I feel like that's just so important in a lot of these engagements. When Ninja Boogie gets that onto the Medusa, you've got to have that Manta saved to be able to reduce that damage reduction.
No, Danog, I'm pretty worried if Dusa gets Skadi before SMG really are able to get a foothold of this game, because I think Skadi is the item to take over for Natsumi.
Absolutely. I mean, you can get dived on by a Night Stalker. You don't really care. You basically want to say to your supports, hey, run to me, because Night Stalker, even once he pops his own BKB, doesn't want to have to contest into my insane right-click damage at that stage. Looking to use the last little bits of this nighttime. 30 seconds remaining. Blue should be the one. They don't have any detection yet. So
the rest of the team starting to connect to the Ember. A dash after the start. Lelouch has got the BKB, but look at the control. He's falling ever so low, and Lelouch so binded together now, so he can't escape. The BKB just out. Still a zip away. Moon is able to catch him. So a 1-for-1 to start for the rest of SMG. Can they fight into the Medusa? A beautiful boundless strike holding back the side of Radius. Natsumi has repositioned the safety of his own tower, and they will edge out a slight victory in that skirmish.
I get it. A slight victory. Ember Spirit.
Yeah.
Well, they've got the double damage on the bottom side of the river as well. And now it's daytime once this Dark Ascension expires. So you know this is the time that Polaris are looking to want to make a play happen. Either around that Roche pit or...
Is it?
Potentially. I mean, what can they do to contest into you? You don't have Fiend's Grip, you don't have Dark Ascension, you don't have Nighttime, you don't have Soulbind.
Dire's
You could
top
very
tower
easily just
is
walk on
under
in.
attack.
Full awareness that this is occurring. Maybe this is off. Is this on the back of Moon to try and steal it? It's got full mana. BKB up in 8 seconds. Doesn't need an inventory slot. Xavius is giving him so much information. As said, they want to bring the fight to SMG around their own triangle. Ninja Boogie's going to go down to start. See how difficult it is for them to take these fights. Oh, yep. I feel like when you have this many deaths, you have to put in an all chat now.
He's freed up the item slot. How good is your ESP, Moon? Are you going to be able to sense it? Not quite.
ESP?
Yeah,
Not
being
heard.
able to
What's-
read their minds.
I've never heard anyone say ESP. Is it a boomer thing?
It's not a boomer thing, it's a term.
What that? Okay, what's ESP?
I don't even know what it stands for, actually. Google it.
Oh my. All right, there we go. Age is picked up on Lelouch, 9, 2, and 4, working on the Sunj and Kaya next. And now this is a big window for Polaris to get a lot of map control into their favor. It's like probably bottom tier 2 is the next objective for them.
Extrasensory perception includes claimed reception information not gained through physical senses.
Don't care, they're on the Monkey King. Easy kill from Lelouch. He's actually going to run into the fight. An early use of the BKB with Snapfire's positioning. Going to be okay to reposition back to his triangle. So, pick off on the monkey and they're good with that.
Just trying to think of what exactly they're waiting for on Polaris. Obviously, the Skadi, very important pickup, but any other big timings coming through? I mean, the Siren Kanj is kind of okay on the Ember Spirit, but I feel like that's another
They jump on
one.
Lelouch. Oh, nice chains! But an even better use of the illusion. Moon holding this to perfection is now mid one, waiting on the higher ground. Silver's edges out, but the damage once again lacking. Moon has to pop a defensive BKB, but mid one, he still doesn't have his own BKB as he steps too far over the boundary. Oh, Polaris continuing to edge out victories through these small little battles that we have across the map.
Yeah, that's the luxury that the Aegis of the Immortal provides you, right? You could stick someone like the Ember Spirit onto the front lines. He tanks up a lot of the aggression coming through, and that should be with this tier 2 tower going down. The Skadi then completed for Natsumi, so he's going to nearly be level 19 at that stage.
Radiant's bottom tower
A lot of net worth in his favor. Everything coming out to him, and they're even going to look to use this Harpy Scout as well, just as that flying ward. I saw Arteezy make a tweet about it recently, how Primal Beast as well as this flying ward are still allowed to be in the game since 7.31, and hey, look at him, just doing his thing.
scanning.
Moon. BKB on cooldown still for 10. That's the first stun. Instantly, Raging Potato's going to look to TP to offer some assistance. Along with Ninja. Oh, they want to fight. An early Dark Ascension, but the follow-up still lacking. Polaris, look at the double back, controlling their high gun with the Wukong's command. So the rest of SMG, they can't enter this area of the map. They're going to have to try and stall out, wait for the command to expire. That's when Moon comes into play. Zipping towards the backline. He's now going to go for Mavis next.
Oh, the haste rune. But the
Moon,
Harpy
get out of
gives
there.
vision.
Atos prevents that. He's still got a little bit of mana. It's a long stun. The route to fall up afterwards from the chains, and Moon, he still drops as well.
And Raging Potato was real manly in that one, just running head on into 4 different people, but actually for him, still not able to really make it work in too much favor.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Xavier's gonna run to Ninja Boogie too. This Monkey King hero is... Oh my god. This position, when you play it as a support, exactly like this, and then you have your other support go Helmdom and get the Harpy, how do you take fights? Like, yeah, you drafted a Night Stalker to try and
Middle tower has fallen.
counter out their vision with a little bit of your own, because you know how important vision is in a game of Dota. But we've just seen the Monkey King do way too much for Polaris to just set themselves up perfectly on the map. Again,
Yeah,
like
I
he
feel
sees
like
Rage
we-
Potato. So now this is potentially another pickoff. He's got BKB. That is your 8-second. Charges don't matter as much anymore, but it's just the fact that you've now lost control of top. So Polaris can sweep over there, clear out the area, and take a T1 now.
Yeah, and I feel like, honestly, we haven't even given enough attention to this helmet of the Dominator, right? Like, for it to be picked up by a support, it's pretty cool. You know, it's not something that you see super common, and I like it. Obviously, the vision aspect of having this Harpy Scout, very influential. You are against a Night Stalker, though, so you can see Raging Potato, he's got the Aghanim Shard queued up. He wants to immediately be able to devour that creep just to take away a little bit of that additional vision. But whenever I play against this physical heavy damage coming through from both the Night Stalker and the Tiny, I always think, okay, well, I probably want to itemize into a little bit of armor. Most of the time, it's something like a Solar Crest, but Help Dom just feels so much better.
Alright, this could be the way back in. A DD, they will give the bottle over to mid one, and Aegis is soon to expire, 5 seconds left on it. So what is the play for SMG? How do they take the fight, Danog? What is the ideal team fight for them?
Looks like they want to keep the pressure going, but honestly, I almost want them to have to wait until this Aghanim Shard is available. The smoke is going to expire, though, as they're walking underneath this ward. So, yeah, all the pings start to come out. Polaris look to rally around their own high ground. And here we go. Raging Potato goes in first again.
Haven't all disconnect together. This is very awkward from Polaris. This is the ideal start for SMG. They get rid of the snap fine. Now with the Fiend's Grip out, but Lelouch has an opportunity to get the BKB. Now all of a sudden, the skirmish turns on its head as Polaris once again coming out on top. Mid one standing his ground, but the BKB really does nothing to the Scar. He doesn't even get it off. Turned to stone, now forced to use it the last second. Once again turned to stone, and mid one, he doesn't get a right click off. Not a singular right click as mid one gets obliterated by the help of the Medusa and the Ember.
Bro, mid one role-playing Tiny. You're already stoned, my man. You don't need to run into the Medusa ult twice.
That was ideal. Okay, Xavius. Who's gonna go for this? The BKB should be able to easily get the kill and get out. Maybe once the Harpy as well, considering how broken it is. Nah, can't get it.
You gotta have that Aghanim Shard. This is what I was talking about, right? It just gave them so much additional information in a lot of these engagements. It meant that they were able to scout out Ninja Boogie there. It was a decent phase grip, but just not enough to be able to take away the offensive threat that Polaris had at that time. And I'm honestly, we saw the impact there. You know, we've talked a couple of times about Raging Potato popping the BKB just to be able to escape from a lot of these engagements. That was the first fight where it really showed, right? It was down to 6 seconds, so he wasn't able to have that extra couple of seconds to be able to disengage so that you could have the Tiny and the Storm continue to have impact in the team fight. So I really do feel like it's scary going up into a Medusa, and especially if you've got this 8k deficit, but you need level 18 on Raging Potato. You need his Aghanim Shard as well.
Oh, and speaking about Raging Potato, Invis Lelouch is going to run straight into him. Xavius feels the need to be able to drop the Wukongs for the kill. BKB into a TPR. There will be no way to disrupt this. Oh, but again, across the map he goes, and now it's mid one and Ninja Boogie hunting for some free kills. Now relatively grouped up. Moon along Zip, Incinnatos, forcing out the BKB. Moon would love the kill and then to look to escape, but he's got to be cautious of his mana.
Oh, no.
Moon, no! Caught out. The last second chance from Lelouch and SMG. They're doing whatever they can, pulling hairs out constantly to try and find an angle back in, but Polaris, they always had this buddy-buddy system, it feels like.
And Moon has, I haven't even noticed, he was already up to level 21, which means that his death time is enormous. It was a full 80 seconds. Oh no, Ninja Boogie, not death number 13.
Ooh. Sorry, he said tactical feed before he died. Mid one?
True.
Alright. They have the Dark Portrait of the Medusa, but see how much value they can really get out of it. Medusa's falling exceptionally low. Now with the Fiend's Grip controlling in the middle of the fight. Finally, Midway is able to have a little bit of impact to bring down the position one. With the BKB still on cooldown, Polaris trying to find an angle in past the T3 tower, but mid one, with the help of the Dark Portrait, just beating onto Polaris, and there we go. Afu finds a triple. That is your angle back into the game.
And with that, they also get the Aghanim Shard on the Night Stalker as well. So this game is just turned on its head entirely. A naked Aghanim Scepter coming out there from Afu. He had 0 impact through his items prior to that point, but man, did he make it count.
All right. Got a bit of a ball game. I was a bit concerned. It's still 7,000 deficit, but I really didn't expect mid one to even enter the rest of this game. But maybe it's just You cut out a couple of early the abilities. You still got BKB for the middle. We saw what the Dark Portrait can do. So maybe that's the angle back in. If you have a Dark Portrait for the full fight, SMG, not out of it yet.
But it's not like they're lacking in physical damage on Polaris, right? That's the only way you can take it. The Dark Portrait spell immune. And it might have just caught them off guard with that first time coming through because it hasn't been a factor until that fight, right? So now the next fight that comes through for Polaris, they know that as soon as that Dark Portrait's seen, they need to make sure you're turning onto it. I mean, with a Medusa, you have the luxury of having a split shot, right? So you are still able to do damage in the rest of the fight. You just got to make sure that it is a focus for, you know, the Viper, the Ember Spirit as well.
I think another thing is we have seen a couple of Fiend scripts on the Medusa for these fights. They haven't been the longest ones by any stretch, but it's a decent amount. And keep in mind, it does burn your mana too, so double the effectiveness against the Medusa.
Absolutely. Always going to be really impactful. But yeah, I mean, it's a 6K game, but it's still anyone's, to be honest, right? Like, you've hit those big timings with being able to get the Aghanim Shard, like I was mentioning. You've got the BKB finished up for the a lot of heroes across the board.
Lush
as well.
He's going to run into mid one. Has the potential of a BKB TPR. He's starting to fall pretty low. Feels like he can just escape by running away, maybe turning to bring down the Ember. There we go. There's the attempt. Yeah, that's free Roche now without BKB. In they go. And this is second Roche as well, Danog. So we've got Aegis along with the Ag Shard.
I have to wonder, like, Xavius, he's going into the old Wraith Pact just to try and reduce a lot of this damage, particularly for, you know, the Tiny and the Night Stalker. They're going to be the big ones, so protecting your own backlines. But I have to wonder if it's going to be a consideration for Xavius to go into a Basher at some point.
Walking onto the Ember Spirit, Raging Potato needs to get nearby for the full control, but that's where the Fiend script can come into play. A big streak once again taken away, and it looks like SMG. They're happy with that. They double back potentially, though. They still got Dark Ascension. Scouting Polaris. Raging Potato, waiting. There we go. Onto Mavis. Behind the T2 towers, Polaris, they're not set up to protect the Snapfire. So they're going to use this time to kill off the Dark Portrait. So now without a lot of the damage coming through from the Scepter on the Grimstroke, it might be difficult. Double buyback even on Lelouch. Okay, this is huge. They got to get something. But a BKB along with the TP still on cooldown for mid one. So he will be caught out. At least you get something out of the double buyback, but it is ever so costly.
Pretty significant to get Lelouch's buyback, though, right? Like, you've still got it available on mid one, so you can look to contest this next high ground push. And we've seen how effective it is, but again, daytime, no Dark Ascension available, no Fiend's Grip either. So very wisely, Polaris just looked to run it straight down mid.
It's difficult hold. Feels like you have to rely on Moon to do the dirty work here with the zip.
Get the Dark Portrait, but yeah, look at what happens to it when you actually pay attention to it. And that's me just 5 hitting.
Bye-bye Enfeeble.
Yeah. Got the Wraith Pact as well on the ground. Just running around there. The old totem. Living his best life.
Keep in mind, there is a Aghanims along with the Shard on Natsumi. So very difficult for the Fiend script potential, which has been a
nice clip.
An issue.
They really don't want to have to buy back on this Tiny, but because of their reluctance to do it, means that they're going to lose a laner X.
They stick around on Polaris for the range as well. Looks like executive call is to back off. So Amelie claimed up to a 7,000 net worth lead again. And it looks like it's time to get a little bit more map control with the outpost down to bottom. But Danog, they do have the Aegis for 2 minutes 30. So what is the play here for Polaris? Do they reset on the map, or do they still continue to posture aggressively in SMG's territory?
I think your little window for that's closed, right? Tiny is back up. It's 10 seconds until nighttime. You've got Dark Ascension available again. Night Stalker's level 20 as well, so he is actually quite a scary thing for the backlines. So I think it's just about trying to get that map control available, get the most out of a lot of the items that you've picked up already.
Oh, Xavius, don't stick around for a little bit too long. Zip, Moon just off the mark. And Xavier's going to jump towards his teammates. It's not just the 2 heroes and SMG. Have to think twice. They keep going for this. And that's Dark Ascension again for nothing.
Yeah,
They
and
might.
BKB.
Do they go high ground? They're thinking about it.
Oh, God. Moon was so close to dying there, actually. He zipped and stopped right in front of where Natsumi was, so an ATOS could have come through and just taken him out.
At least getting another wave. So it's going to be on Storm to deal with this one inside the base. Someone needs to deal with mid as well. Dark Ascension about to expire. Right in the vision. Moon's going to jump. They need to deal with the Dark Portrait as well. Starting to stack up the damage towards the Medusa, but now without any follow-up. Means that Medusa's able to stand her ground and deal with it. Okay, yeah, mid one beating top. T3's falling really fast. They need to stop TPs. That's the name of the game now for SMG. Natsumi, his TP's cancelled, along with the rest of Polaris. They're actually going to stop all of them to stick around. They want kills instead of defending the barracks. As Raging Potato drops. Can they get any more? All right, Davies was able to TP back. Should be a full set from mid one. Meanwhile, inside though, Ember Spirit's going to be caught out. Moon. Nice start. That's going to be the dieback from Lelouch. And on the deck, Natsumi. Still difficult to go through with the ages.
But I mean, you've raxed them. You've raxed them with a 10k deficit.
Oh, mid one's going to go back in top as well. Oh, Xavier's not like this. Not like this. They still have their TPs on cooldown as well. Mid one, no, he's beating the SMG. Oh, they missed shift dodge. One more tree. Oh. Okay. Oh, what is going on? What is this game?
Well, he's level 25 is what's going on, and I believe that's a Satanic as well completed up for him, along with the Paladin Sword that ended up dying on the Courier previously. So at 37-minute mark, they can look to go and pick up some of these tier 4 neutral items as well. Again, game is wide open. You don't have the Aegis to play around anymore. You will have another use of the Dark Ascension now if you do desire it, and I feel like that's exactly what they're looking to go for. Maybe just getting a couple more neutral items and then looking to go and play as a team, but not really lacking anything right now on SMG.
This could be scary. You just got Ags on Storm, so the Vortex into the AoE silence. Does indeed, but unfortunately it doesn't have two heroes that can play next to him. Ember and Monkey King both down, so he's going to join his fellow brethren in the grave as SMG sense a sign of weakness. They're going to continue walking down mid.
There we go. Just trying to use the Ogre Frost Mage to drag the creeps away, but again, you got the Night Stalker, so just instantly able to remove that one. In one. Sure, he's going to look to try and posture aggressively. They didn't need to use any cooldowns to be able to get that kill onto the Snapfire, so this is a 5v4 fight right now.
This is scary, man. Sumi. He's going to jump. Vortex out. First stun. Moon might be in trouble. I spot the BKB and get out. Lelouch looking to follow, but thinks twice about it. Ooh, I think they've lived to survive another day, at least for their objectives mid.
It's still so scary to go high ground against a Medusa, right? Like, it's one of the heroes other than, like, you know, a sniper that you just cannot contest into. So they're going to try and force them to come outside of their base. This ward is going to do a good job at scouting out a lot of the positioning. And with the Snapfire still dead for 25, this seems like the exact scenario that SMG wants. They want the backline.
Ward. Instant Dark Ascension is going to push Polaris back. Need to start. Double Vortex. Where's default? Mid one Raging Potato playing patiently. They want to cave away the life of Xavier's. But a great use of the leap away. Now towards the middle. Mid one trying to enter the fight, but he hasn't found the best avenue just yet. Half-Food's going to be the first one to be brought down. The Fiend's grip instantly cancelled as well as mid one still targeting Force. But the Wukongs lay it down. It looks like SMG. They rank directly into the trap as Natsumi just shredding down one by one. There's no casualties. Force is one of them, actually. But the important thing is that you do take the team fight and continue to defend your base.
Unless I'm mistaken, I think that was a really clutch buy by the Medusa picking up the Aghanim Shard just recently. It meant that the Fiend's Grip, the Soulbind Fiend's Grip, was actually cancelled. Okay, well, still, it was a good usage, right? And fortunately, the Fiend's Grip was just completely cancelled out by Ninja Boogie there, so wasn't able to get that same level of control that they've been having previously. I mean, they are still very lacking in stuns right now on Polaris' side, right? They need to rely on the Monkey King. They need to rely on the Snapfire being in the perfect position. So to miss out on such a key ability is a big loss, and look at what they're able to do as a result of it. Natsumi just walking straight high ground. They're going to get a second lane of Rax minimum.
They are playing behind Polaris, Raging Potato and Moon. Oh, Xavier runs into him. Oh, not the monkey for vision again. Moon's gonna look to try and cancel out the Mortimer Kisses. It will cost the life of the Night Stalker. Now with the ATOS, forcing Moon to BKB. He's wanting to finish his food before he escapes, but unable to do so. So Night Stalker the casualty, and you do not get Snapfire.
Radiant's bottom barracks.
No Snapfire, you're still going to get this lane of Rax as well, and that's a very important pickup coming through from the Bane, being able to pick up that Aghanim Scepter. Snake's only going to bounce to yourself.
Now it's back onto the team to rely on a Boundless, but it's going to be so... You have to be the perfect positioning to get all of the 2 illusions along with the Bane. Ember can't do it. You can't rely on Cookie. So you should be able to get a decent duration of Fiend's Grip out. It just got the 15 talent to Danog, so plus 5% Fiend's Grip max mana drain. This could be huge for them.
Actually, that is incredibly important, but it's one way that they can look to counter that out is by being able to take Roche, giving you that secondary life. Gone is the period where Lelouch is going to be looking to take this one, in my opinion. Maybe actually, considering he did use the buyback previously in the Ember, but he's got it back available again. I really feel like Natsumi needs to be the one carrying this Aegis. Anyway.
Give it to him. Lelouch gets the shard, so he can have plenty of remnants, and he's soon to pick up 25, which he actually now gets. So shard, cheese onto Lelouch, along with more than likely the remnant shard restore time. Does go into that though.
No, you got the refresher, right? So you want the sleight of fist charges. You just want to spam that out constantly.
Okay, and he did. 13,000 net worth lead. Still 70% advantage for Polaris. It's a bit of a concern, isn't it, though, how the Tiny is able to scale into the Medusa. And I guess the answer is going to be the Rapier for mid one. Bit of quiet we have before the potential last fight to break out of this game 1. It's Polaris that have the advantage. Just waiting patiently, seeing if anyone comes outside the base, but Radiant with this ward sees the positioning. Give it a start. Early use of the Dark Ascension. Radiant Potato is going to give them all the information they could ever so desire, but down towards the back line, Lelouch cancels out of the life of the Grimstroke. He's targeting the Bane as well. The Aghanims has a non-factor through this team fight as the rest of SMG have to get out of safety, covering from the artillery.
Gonna use the Dark Portrait there. It's gonna be back available again, but just feels like the impact isn't quite coming from the SMG support. Some really aggressive plays, having to use the Refresher Shard for that purpose, but when you're just able to zip around, they don't have any instant reliable lockdown coming through to be able to control this Ember.
Her Dark Ascension makes it so difficult now for Raging Potato. They're going to wrap all the way around, but Polaris, they're already starting to knock on your high ground. Keep in mind, this is last set of barracks before Megas. With the jump, Atos is already controlling. Was able to get out of that thanks to Swell.
Still, where's the follow-up? I mean, your Rax is going down.
He's going to come in further back inside the base. Midone dealing a lot of damage to the first life underneath the T4 towers.
All right.
It's now difficult for Polaris to follow up, and they got rid of the Grimstroke. All eyes on Ninja Boogie now with the Fiend's Grip. Is able to get it off. Still has a long duration with the BKB, slightly protected with the mana, slowly falling. Look at Midone's damage. That's enough. They bring down the Medusa, but Polaris, the call to claim all of the objectives. Barracks are gone. Mega creeps on the agenda. But SMG, can they strike back? Can they find an angle in? The Vortex into the cleave damage. Lelouch drops along with Mavis as well. Oh, they hold, but it is at a cost. It's at a grave one. Megas is now the comeback.
Look at the ping on the map as well. Someone went to school for math because that bounty rune is available on the bottom side, and Medusa is 89 gold away from buyback. So Xavius is trying to make his way there as quickly as possible.
Have a rapier. No.
2 bounties. Better than 1. So that's
someone
going to give
please. They're not going to beg him.
I'm begging him as well. But not looking like it's going to result in much. Moon should be the one to be able to catch it out.
And what do you do? There's
travel
a
on this
Tichu
Storm
bot. You can't trade Mega Creeps.
Bot that DD now. Moon picks it up.
There's no chance. Can SMG do this? A Mega Creep comeback? Tier 4's down. They're sorting the Medusa buyback onto the backline. Snap
the
fight.
stun.
An instant bound the strike, but Moon's got an opportunity. Now with a triple vortex, Mid One's going to try and find an angle to the team fight, but he's TPing out. Mid One's TPing away. They don't want to fight as the Medusa looking to evacuate as best as possible. The retreat has been called. They saved the Rapier, but at the cost of 3 heroes.
3 heroes with buyback, though, and you got the buyback out of the Medusa. I mean, I wouldn't hate this situation if I'm SMG right now, as the first buyback starts to come. But the Storm Spirit, he wants to clear out this bottom wave as quickly as possible. Interesting build coming through from Moon as well, having the Boots of Travel. Just, I don't think he could go for any kind of rat plays.
Night Stalker's not
go
gonna
all down mid. Yeah, at least it's nighttime.
Yes.
I
Mid
want to try and
one?
delay it for 25 seconds. You cannot be here mid
Dude,
one.
they've got double gem.
And you don't have BKB. That's the bigger thing for mine.
Yeah, 20 seconds. Looks like they're going to stall it out. Oh, wow. They're actually not going to force out the buyback. So this is huge now. Do you feel like SMG get the creep wave in a position where they can then smoke outside the base?
Gonna be rough. I mean, the bottom lane is the one that they need to take most care of. At least you've got the super creeps pushing up against the mega creeps for the mid and top lanes, but bottom lane is always going to be a bit of a concern. It's going to basically make any kind of movements so obvious that you're looking to go for. Xavier's again doing the scouting as best he can. Put himself in the most dangerous position. See there, they're just pinging out the Bane as much as possible. Ninja Boogie with a great Fiend's Grip in the previous team fight. And fighting under tier 4 towers is no joke, that's for sure.
I really wonder if Ninja Boogie goes like Shadow Amulet or something. It's all on the Ember to kill him. They're moving out. Mid one's under a Ward and Sentry combo. And his team is not behind him. They are a little bit away from mid one.
I mean, Raging Potato and Moon aren't there. The supports are, but only offer him so much.
They're stalking him. Mid one. You cannot force the early BKB, but they've also found Ninja Boogie. That's the key component. You need the Fiend Script for the fight, and they will not have it. Mid one. Does he want to stand his ground? Lucius found him once again. He's still holding on to the BKB. Ninja Boogie's going to look to buy back a long zip in from Moon. They're on top of the Medusa. Look at the damage. Mid one slowly bringing down Natsumi. Brought back prior, and it's a dieback. But at what cost? It could be too grave as a cleave once again stacking up. Mid one will end up falling. Lelouch picks up the rapier. They're going to look to buy back. Mid one as well rejoining by the fight at the secret shop. Lelouch just might turn this all around. Keep in mind, he's got the slide of fish charges.
Oh man, what is this game, man? Tiny has the item spot free because of that, and they used a lot of TPs aggressively, so yeah, Raging Potato just needs to run back to base, otherwise you're going to start losing these tier 4s. Oh man, it was looking so good. They were able to take out the Medusa at the start of the engagement. I understand Ninja Boogie, he wanted to get the use of the Enfeeble onto the Medusa so that you could set up for the Fiend Script later on, but he's just so squishy. You've got an incredible amount of vision to be able to lock him down and burst him that he just never got the Fiend's Grip off. The stun coming through from the Medusa Aghanim Scepter was just put him in the grave. Only one person with buyback now, and it's Raging.
And the big thing is they've lost this window of the dieback on the Medusa. So mid one's using this time to farm up the rapier, which he will have enough gold for shortly.
And you still do have 4 minutes left on the Medusa's buyback timing, even though it's not the dieback timer, but I feel like that's almost as effective as they're just going to need to try for a rapier on rapier play right now.
Okay. We just got an AC on the Night Stalker too. And he's level 26 now, but he has the 25 talent. So the Dark Ascension cooldown is really, really big. I wouldn't hate for him to go Arcane Blink next, because I think we are now at a stage where Vision will win you this game. I firmly believe that. And if he has Arcane Blink just for pretty much almost perma uptime in Dark Ascension, that is what you need.
Doesn't do cooldown reduction anymore. They changed that.
Oh. Sorry,
it's just
never mind. Never mind.
It's all right. We got another rapier. Dual rapier gameplay. Let's go.
cannot believe they changed the arcane blink. It's so trash now. Hey, at least you're on the ball. I appreciate that. All right.
First time for everything.
What is Baby Corey doing? Great. Well,
Baby
that's
potato.
just an illusion.
Yeah, and forces his buyback, and Dark Ascension was used. I mean, he is level 25, so it's got the cooldown reduction, I suppose, so it's not the biggest downtime. You can see Afu, he's still holding on to... Actually, he's changed it. He's gone into the ninja gear now. He was holding a Fey Grenade for the longest time just to be able to get rid of that Lincoln Sphere onto the Ember Spirit, but obviously not feeling it's needed anymore, prioritizing his own life.
Alright, Rosh is up.
I almost want that on Ninja Boogie, though.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant
It seems like they're just putting more importance on the Dark Portrait instead. I wonder.
I mean, both are so important, that's the thing.
Yeah, without a doubt. They're instantly
Look at
coming
the
back to
vision
the area.
by Polaris. They've just got complete vision around the right-hand side of this. So
One starting
Sword.
it. David's
Yeah,
going to see him. Keep in mind, mid one just pulled back. An early use of the Wukong, controlling the area. The loose jump for the backline. Once again, the supports are in trouble. Grimshow's able to get the Dark Portrait out, but now it's on to Ninja Boogie next as well, and mid one's gone! Another rapier dropped! And it looks like this game one firmly in control of Polaris, as this would be a miracle to hold out this game.
It ain't happening. You would need like a 5-man vortex into Soulbind Dark Portrait onto the Medusa into all of Polaris not hitting Medusa for them to be able to turn this around. I mean, Medusa's got the rapier, I suppose, but yeah, seems incredibly unlikely. They just need to make sure that they're not all grouped up on top of each other right now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Are scanning.
Oh, Fu's gonna get scouted. We go into the hole, the chains to prevent the zip in. 1 on 5. Moon against the world. Throne's already blown up, and Polaris. Wow, rapiers back and forth, drop from either side, but it will be the lads on Polaris taking out our game one.
Woo. Real back and forth one coming through there. It did come down to a lot of that decision making, right? It felt the team fight execution was pretty on point for both teams, but yeah, just that decision to go Roche 50 plus minutes into the game, no buybacks. They didn't put any wards up. On the high ground, they had no vision. You're against a Monkey King, and they just let him do whatever the hell he wanted. So perhaps a little bit of disrespect coming through from from SMG there, and Polaris able to snowball and take game number 1.
This just sets us up so perfectly, though, for a series. Just hopefully for best of 3, because that's what everyone wants. Polaris looking on a really good streak. I know they did just lose prior to Boom, but they were very competitive that series, and now able to take game 1. Puts SMG under the pump a little bit here. It was back and forth, very even. SMG had their movements, but I want a game 3, so hopefully SMG can stem this momentum that Polaris have been able to build up, and we'll see if they can come back with a solid draft to set themselves up for our second game, but we will find out after the break.